afternoon, party people of the summer and the traders. I am Jack, joined by risk manager Mick. This is the shoulder tap where we will dish out some high fives and some perhaps very low fives. I don't know what's on the docket yet here. But Mick, how are you doing first off? Fully
Hey, pretty
recovered?
good. Yeah, fully recovered. I'm all good. Back to business. There's a lot of business to be done. So thanks for asking. How are you?
I am doing excellent. Looking forward to next Friday. Glad you can make it. But before then, how are funded traders doing today?
Well, it's an exciting day today. Any day we've got a range day. We tend to see traders, putting up big numbers, and then we have people that kind of try and fade, any moves today. We got the upside move, Nasdaq leading the way to the top. Um, we've got a name everybody's probably a little familiar with. Chung is up $34,000 right now. He's been riding out a trade, decent size on it. When I was getting my cards ready for the segment, he was up 23 grand. Now he's up 34 grand. So we've got him. A couple other notable P&Ls. We've got Pastor, who I'll be talking about. He's up 3,700 today. Walter up 3,100. We've got Peter 3,200. Matthew kind of crept in there from a low P&L today to now being second on the boards with 8,900 in profits. Landon 2,400, and last I looked, Hogue was up 2,500. Happy he had a good day before he peeled off. I know he wasn't feeling too well, so it's there's a lot of good numbers up there on the board today. But like I said, anytime we have these trending days or a wide range move, we've got some people that catch the right side of it, and then we've got other people that are trying to pick tops, bottoms, and continuing to do their intraday stuff as opposed to setting something, riding it out, and catching a piece of the trend for the day. But it's always the traders that stick to their bias convictions and ride out a trade that are going to be the ones that have that P&L that's notable that gets shared on here for nice profits on the day, Jack.
Yeah, shout out to Hogue. The 2.5K will make you feel a little better. I don't know if you're watching this morning, Mick, but that was Hogue as the house account in that case. So a group trade there. With that, we have a couple of cards today. If there's time left over, we can answer some questions from the chat or just BS about stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah,
You want to stick
good.
around. So, what do we got here, Mick?
Nothing but good stuff. All right, let's pull up the card for El Pastor. Pastor. He's in a live account, 100K. And I wanted to start out, we had some good trading that we talked about yesterday. This is a true shoulder tap here, Jack. The card is not pretty. The trading has not been pretty. And Pastor's still in good shape in this account because we transferred him over with a very healthy account balance from XFA to live. But I wanted to just highlight him and talk a little bit about, what some traders might not want to be doing or shouldn't be doing when it comes to a live account and you see early trading activity. Today's 8 for Pastor. These metrics that we have on the card here are for the first 7 days of their trading activity. And it's not too pretty. And I'm not here to bash him, but I'm here to, make an example of him and show for some of the other traders if you fall into any trading statistics like this, or if you're starting early and heck, even if it's a trading combine, not a funded level account, whether you're an XFA or live, this is a good card to look at to give you an idea of where you may want to be pumping the brakes and adjustments that you may want to be making in your account. So, Pastor is a new member. He's been with us since March of this year. Average daily P&L. He's losing on average $1,660 per day, and that's over his first 7 days in the account. 14% winning days. I think that translates to a single winning day, which was about $570. One winning day out of 7, actually one winning day out of 8, because today's day 8 and he's down money again today. Or excuse me, no, he's not. He's up 3,700 today, which I'm very happy about. Pardon me. Sorry, Pastor. But only one winning day to date thus far, $570 winning day. And he's in the 100K account, so he's got that $2,000 daily loss limit, which on every single one of his other losing days, he's hit. And so his average losing days minus $2,030. Um, Worst day about $2,100. Jackie's trading. He's a busy boy. He's trading a lot. 27 trades per
Mhm.
day with a risk reward of 1 to 1. Trading short time frame, only looking to take $180 out of these trades while he's risking about 185. So we're 1 to 1 there. Um, Actually, he's got some decent hold times on these trades, but I think that's largely influenced by some of the micros trading that he's been doing. For those of you out there that are new to this or you've been watching, I don't really comment on the micros trades. Those contracts are too small to me. They're not really worth it. I'm going to focus on the minis or any of the other standard contract sizes. But decent hold times. But for the most part, he's trading on relatively a short time frame. When I say decent hold times, it's really referring to spending more time in the winning trades than in the losing trades. But it's that it in and of itself is not enough to make you profitable. So he's been getting kicked around a little bit, and you know, I think this is a bit of a shoulder tap or an intervention for him, Pastor. Very happy that you're up $3,700 today. I actually talked to the risk guys and said we need to call him. We need to lock this in. And they called him and they put some limitations on where being up $3,700, if he gives back 1,500 of that 3,700, we're locking him out for the remainder of the day because we need to have him, lock in at least $2,500 on the day, or roughly 2/3 of today's profit. That's good money management. He needs to lock in a big winner, make up for these losing days. Because it's been kind of right out of the gates, loss, 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 loss on a daily basis. And, right now, like I said, he's still in good shape, but this is where we need to be, taking a self time for self reflection and look at, what's been going on. I need to slow down. I need to stop doing what I'm doing. And just because he's got still has a nice, healthy account balance doesn't mean that, he's in a position to go in and lose 2 grand a day.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, there's some interesting things here. As Eddie reminds us in the chat, Bostic is blasting in 5 minutes. Um, Granted, this is only a 7-day sample size, but there are some things, I think, actionable things here. I mean, Pastor did, he's obviously up today, and it's good that he's quitting it. But on the first one, two, three, four, five, six, hit on the first 6 days of the account, hit the $2,000 loss limit 6 straight times. This is something we commonly talk about that should not happen. They would never let you do that at a professional prop firm. Is that should be going down, right? If you hit your loss limit, you shouldn't hit that loss limit the next day. You certainly shouldn't hit it a third time. You got to be lowering that. I would like to see is how much he's willing to lose, much lower. The other kind of kick in the pants is it just seems that he doesn't get quitting when the quitting's good. So we mentioned 6 of these 7 days are daily
Yep.
loss limits. Check this stat out. All right. Um, on those 6 days, only one of them was his PNL high when he was flat negative. All right. So he was up and flat 1,400, 900, 2,000, 600, 680. And on each of those days hit the loss limit, right? Especially with that 1,400 one, your loss limit is there for a reason. And if you're up $1,400 in something like this, you should not then say, okay, well now I have 3,500 bucks to lose and do it. You got to lock at least some of that in. So my advice would be definitely do not give back what you're making today. Take some of that. You got to get some of those winning days, but also, you know, until you start doing better, don't just take that 2K for granted. I mean, your account will last much longer. Just drop it to Drop it to 1,500, drop it to 1,000, and then if you do better, bring it back up. But don't lose the loss limit 6 times in a row.
Yeah, speaking
And
of
if you
that,
d
Jack,
Yeah, I was gonna say
sorry,
the last thing
continue.
is, and if you do that, which I have not seen here yet, and granted it's 7, you gotta be someone that is making a massive amount of money. If you're gonna lose like that, you gotta be one of those people that's making like 40 grand on the, days when you hit, and we haven't seen it yet, but small sample size.
Yeah, there's some math we could do here too, because I knew you'd be commenting on the P&L highs for the day. I mean, we're seeing $3,400 swing on day one from P&L high, $3,000 swing day two, $3,900 swing day three. Day four is the one where he started off down money out of the gates, but every one of these days, $2,600 swing on day five. Day six, $2,700 swing, so on and so forth. If now of those six winners, five, four of them, even if they just kept half of what their P&L high was on the day, those days their P&L high would be greater than what their best winning day of $570 was. So that's also something to keep in mind. Um, you know,
Yeah,
if you can lock
absolutely.
in only half of your profits on a day and it's bigger than your best winning day, you should probably be locking in those profits. I think that, seeing someone who's up money at one point during the day and then ends the day at their daily loss limit, I think it's an overtrading thing. I mentioned that they're doing a lot of trades per day, average 27 trades per day. If you are long and short throughout, the day, trying to, peg and pin the pivots and the gyrations and the price bar overlap, like this could be a real reality for a lot of traders. As a matter of fact, I know on the retail side of things for newer traders, this is a real reality. It's you're up, you think that you continue seeing, more trade setups and you take them and you forget about the money management. You're in there doing what you want to do, and that's taking risk to make more profits, but you're missing the bigger picture. And goal number one is the capital preservation. Capital preservation applies to, P&L highs on the day, account balance highs, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot that could be done better here. And again, the store has got a very healthy account balance, but we can't see $2,000 losses on a daily basis. Jack talked about it. You don't really want to hit your daily loss limit 2 days in a row. You shouldn't be. And I'll go a step further. If you have two back to back, really more so realistically, like if you have three back to back losing days, it should be an indication that your strategy is not working in the current market environment. But if you're taking 27 trades in a day, I'd be questioning what is your strategy? Are you implementing, one single strategy where you're trying to, take the same setup throughout the day over and over and over again?
Mhm.
Maybe you see 27 trades if you're looking at a 1 minute chart, but if you're looking at anything other than a 1 minute chart or a short time frame, you are not seeing 27 trades in a day. And you should probably not be implementing multiple strategies if you have those strategies throughout the day. So, Jack, as far as time of day goes for someone who's trading the equities, I have a pretty strong opinion about when participation is good and when it's good for us or anybody to participate for that matter. What would you suggest time window? In Central Time, when's the best time of day for equity indices traders to be trading?
The morning.
I agree. I would say
Yeah.
7 a.m. Central Time to 11 a.m. Central Time, and I say those metric or those that time window because that's when the volume and participation there is. I think even though stock equities, stock market opens up at 8:30 Central Time, the volume starts coming in at 7. And I always in the past when I was trading full time. Um, for a living, you know, 7 a.m. was kind of my reading. Where are we at off the 7 a.m. number when all the participation and volume starts coming in? And then, as far as 11 a.m. Central Time goes, that's when you start to see volume die off a little bit. You have all the traders in New York. It's 12 o'clock there. It's lunchtime. They're leaving the desk. They've probably done quite a bit of their business already for the day, and it's lunchtime. And then you have the people in Chicago that are, also they've done a lot of their business for the day and they're getting ready to go to lunch. So, for these big players, funds, institutions, all that stuff, that they really, they do business throughout the day, but they do a lot of their business early on in the day. And it's those large participants that are actually doing the size and volume and the aggressors to, drive prices up or drive prices down. It's not the retail trading that is doing that. So we as retail traders, the small fish in the sea, want to ride on the coattails of the big boys and girls by, making good assumptions as far as price direction, and then, seeing where those bigger players can push this market or these markets. So I think that's kind of enough on Pastor and,
Yeah.
trading, but you
We'll
know,
take a look at the next card. Just want to say the stock indices continue to push higher here. We're almost back to we're getting close to where we opened on the Friday when the world was ending through that weekend. So we'll see if we close that. Let's go to the next card in the meantime. Who do we have here? I think it's a familiar name.
yeah, it is. Eddie S is who I want to talk about now. And I wanted to talk about Eddie because he's just been doing really well. He's been in this live account for 108 trading days. And look at that average daily P&L. Average daily P&L, that's every single day that he
Holy
trades,
cow.
that's what it's panning out to. So you multiply 368 net P&L times 108 days, and that's what you've got for his profitability. And he's close to home here, Jack, trading out of Zionsville, Indiana. Um, he's a really good example of how you don't have to be right more than half the time to be really profitable. Only 41% winning days and only 44% winning trades, but those average winning days are double what the average losing day is. His best day is, many multiples of what his worst day is. And on a per trade basis, the risk reward is only 1 to 1 here on a per contract basis. But obviously, there's anomalies to that. That's the average over time. Those big winning days that he's had certainly, you know, those metrics are more favorable. But um, this is also something surprising here is just like we were talking about with Pastor. He's making a lot of trades per day. It's 32 trades. Now, I will say that I know firmly that many of these trades that register on the trade report, they're actually scaling into larger position size. Add a contract, add a contract, add a contract. So the way that breaks down in the trade report in many cases is um, those trades are individual trades. They're registered as individual trades that make up a larger position size as opposed to one lot trades.
There's a lot to love on this card. Also pointing out, um, we will, when you're in a live account, expand your P&L if you need it. So it looks like he's had it expanded to a 2K loss limit. And, with a max of 5 contracts, that's, 5 contracts you can do plenty of damage with.
Yeah,
I, I have an idea. I think we should start giving out awards, Mick, for anybody that achieves an account balance in their funded account in an account that is higher than the name of the account. Because Eddie has done that, has a balance above 50K. If you do 50K in a 50K account or 100K in a 100K or 150 in 150K, you should get some sort of special, I don't know, plaque, uh, car. I don't know, but we should talk to Michael about that because
I
you don't see
I
that very
like that.
often.
I think he'd be on board with that too. I also like, the idea of giving some award or accreditation for, number of days in the live account. 108 days, it's a long period of time. And he's been with us since January of 2020. So he's been around for a while. Obviously, has groomed his skills here at Top Step, and, he's doing well. Speaking of doing well, Eddie, if you're watching, I see you took a $5,000 payout on this account. I would like to see payouts a little bit more regularly. They don't have to be large percentages. What's that account balance is around 50 grand, 55 grand. Yeah, he's at like 56 grand. Doesn't have to be a big chunk, but take 1,000 here, take 1,000 there. I've always said on this show and believed, in real life too, that taking payouts on a regular basis does make you better with your money management when you start thinking about, the concept of not only adding to that number on a computer screen, which I had issues with early on. It was just a virtual number on a computer screen. I didn't
Oh
treat it
yeah.
as a tangible account balance or a tangible P&L. I'm up 1,000 on a screen is a little different than 1,000 in your pocket. So those payouts can help with that. They helped me a lot with money management. Um, Not that he has any problems with that, but I would like to see, hey, even if it's every 2 weeks, Eddie, take 500 or something like that out. It's not a lot. It's a very small percentage. Um, Traders, when it comes to taking payouts too, and excuse me, like you mentioned, Eddie, we expanded his daily loss limit from 1,000 up to 2,000. If you're willing to risk 2,000 on any given trading day, you should be willing to take a $500 payout every so often. So I couldn't I can't emphasize or stress enough on how important that is for our traders to regularly be taking payouts, even if it's $100. There's a number of things you could do with $100. Do it, do it, do it,
Yes.
do it.
108 days, 50,000 is awesome. The one, like, once again, the small thing I would add is with the two, I see a little bit in these last couple days of bigger swings than you probably want with that loss limit. I see a day that was flat up 8K and then hit the loss limit, 5K hit the loss limit. Um, yeah, I think if you get up, only you can decide some multiple of your P&L, but if you're up 10K with a 2K loss limit, you probably want to keep half of that. But you know what? You do you because you traded 108 days and made $50,000. So that's all good.
Yeah, it's working. I mean, I really dislike that one day you just mentioned up 8,000 and then ended it down 2,000. That's a really big swing. And that's a lot of P&L to not lock in a certain percentage of it.
It's
Obviously, they had a
20% of the
bias.
whole account, right? Like that's too big a swing to take. We're not even talking about
It's too,
daily loss limit. That's 20% uh, of $50,000. Uh, too big, too big a
too
swing.
big a swing to take. I can't say what they had their eyes set on that day, but I can say for someone who has a $10,000 swing like that, not locking in the profits, that's a bad thing. However, there are a number of five-figure winning days that a couple of which had followed that day. $13,000, $11,500. So they have the ability to put up big winning days like that. Granted, that's not where they're normally at. That's quite a bit higher than the average winning day of $3,400. But this is all good stuff here. Nobody's perfect, so we can talk about that $10,000 swing going from up 8,000 to down 2,000 and not locking it in. But overall, you know the long-term profitability here is something that is really impressive and something to showcase. I'll tell you, for someone, just yesterday we had a couple people where I think that the net P&L jack or the average P&L was like in the $3,800 range, $4,600 range, meaning every single day winning and losing, that's what they were taking down. That's tough to maintain. Um, I'm less impressed with that over a short period of time, far less impressed with those kind of metrics over a short period of time than I am impressed with what we're seeing here on Eddie's. 100 days, averaging just about $400 a day. That's really, really good. And as we talk about, long-term profitability is something that you can scale. You want to weed out those $10,000 swings that Jack just brought up, but you can certainly scale this type of activity to, and if we were scaling, which I know he is doing a little bit of scaling, we could be talking about $800 a day for the net P&L. And instead of us talking about a $56,000 balance, we got another 100K club guy. So uh, shout out to him. Really good stuff. Happy he's on the prop firm with us.
Excellent stuff. Great job, Eddie. We're out of time here. Mick, we can talk about people are asking about caps and the XFA. We don't have time to talk about that right now, but we can do it someday this week. With that, stick around because right after this, we have group coaching with Hogue and JD. Hogue is fighting through it. This is his Jordan flu game. You won't want to miss it. So, Mick, thanks again. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you guys right after this break.